Tonight, old profession, young prey.
After the brothel owners beat me, they sent men to my room. The men did many things to me there. My very first time, she brought the customer to me. She told me how to do it. Do it like this, do it like that, all of it.
How much money do you want for your daughter?
The Selling of Innocence, a shocking expose of India's child sex trade.
Good evening, I'm Knowlton Nash. For millions of children around the world, sexual exploitation is an appalling fact of life. Many turn to prostitution as a means of survival. Others are sold into sexual slavery, often by their own parents. Tonight's documentary takes us to the seedy back streets of Bombay for a rare glimpse inside this grim world where pimps and madams ply their trade, peddling the flesh of the young. Here is The Selling of Innocence. It was shown recently in Stockholm to delegates of a World Congress which had convened to try to find ways to combat the sexual exploitation of children.
Kamatipura, Bombay, the largest brothel district in all of India. Each night, more than 200,000 local men crowd into an area of about 6 blocks, where more than 20,000 prostitutes live and work. Half the girls here come from Nepal. There is a huge demand for their golden skin and oriental features. Even more desirable are the hundreds of children, some as young as 9. Behind these doorways is a labyrinth of tiny rooms, corridors and courtyards which make up the brothels of Bombay's red light district. The girls here have been cheated, kidnapped, beaten and sold into bondage. They are modern-day sex slaves.
Well, I told this Nepalese girl that I could find her a good job in India. I told her that I would advance her 3,000 rupees. That's all it took to convince her.
They used to hit me and beat me if I didn't do it. The business. One time for 4 or 5 days, they beat me constantly and forced me to do it.
I then took her and sold her for 50,000 rupees. She was about 16.
After the brothel owners beat me, they sent men to my room. The men did many things to me there. The madams even beat me when I came out of the room. They beat me a lot.
Like so many of the girls here, Belly was just 14 when she was abducted into a brothel.
I ended up in the brothel because 2 women in Nepal befriended me and took me to watch a movie. When I asked for a drink of water, they mixed some kind of drug in the water. Then I was taken to Bombay and I was sold to the brothel owners. I had many welts on my body from being beaten. It used to hurt. They did not feed me well. In the morning I got rice, and in the evening they used to give me rotten rice that they would buy outside the brothel.
Customers visit the brothel around the clock. The price, 60 to 100 rupees, $1 or $2 depending on a girl's beauty and age. The madams charge a premium for children and virgins. The girls say that they service up to 35 men a day. They live and work crammed 4 and 5 into tiny rooms. Their children play on the floor while they service the customers. The madams collect the money directly from the customers. New girls in the brothel are not paid for their work. Instead, the madams expect them to work off the money spent buying them from pimps and agents. But the girls are never told how much they cost. They could spend the next 10 years paying off their purchase price. The girls are forced to buy their own makeup and extra food with tips they sometimes get from their customers. Even the water must be purchased.
I would wake up around 1 o'clock, then I'd brush my teeth, and by the time I had finished eating, it would be 3 o'clock. Then I put on my makeup and wait.
Girls recently sold into the brothels are locked in their rooms until they learn not to resist. Only then are they allowed out into the halls and courtyards.
They used to lock us up with a huge padlock on the main door. It had steel all around. We were never allowed out on the street to get anything. The madams had everything brought in to us.
When a young girl or a woman is sold into a brothel, she's put through a month or so of seasoning, and most of these little children or young women relent within a week to 10 days under severe psychological pressure, under beatings, under torture, physical abuse, verbal abuse, rape, sodomy, burns with cigarette butts, isolation, drugging, starvation, and the like.
सावधान भी बंद कर सकता है यदि गवर्नमेंट हमें सपोर्ट करे हम बंद करा सकते हैं जागरूकता ला सकते हैं
My organization could shut the brothels down, especially if the government would help us. We could do it. We can create an awareness. We can tell the customers that this is someone's mother. You have your own wife. Why do this to someone's mother, to somebody's sister? This is rape. Now this girl, look at her. She was raped. But we rescued her and sent her back to her village in Nepal.
Nepal is a small mountain kingdom in the Himalayas on the northern border with India, about 1,500 kilometers from Bombay. Nepal is one of the poorest countries in Asia. Almost the entire population lives in small villages in the hills surrounding the Kathmandu Valley. As in many Asian countries, Women here have traditionally been thought of as inferior to men. They have been raised to obey their fathers, brothers, and husbands. In certain regions of this desperately poor country, women are little more than chattel. This is where the procurers and agents from the brothels of Bombay come hunting for girls.
My parents were in debt and had no way to pay back those debts. So my father went away to India to earn some money. And then my mother followed him, leaving me and my two sisters on our own. I used to go to the airport to look for work. After 15 or 20 days, some man came to me and asked me if I had any sisters. Then he said he would get my sister employed at a carpet factory in the capital, Kathmandu. He said he would pay me 3,000 rupees for her. So I told my sister to go with him. I had another sister. She was only 9 years old. The same person came and said that he could get my sister employed at some home in Bombay and would give me 10,000 rupees for her. Because I had to pay our family debt, I sent my sister with him. After I paid the debt, I went looking for my sisters, but I couldn't find them anywhere. When I think of them, I feel like crying. Then sometimes I lose my appetite. But it's been a long time, so I don't think about it anymore.
There are more than 100,000 Nepalese women and children working in the brothels of India. Sisters and daughters are sold every day.
तू पहले बैठ जा, तू इधर बैठ। आप यहाँ बैठ जाइए। बैठ जाइए, कोई बात नहीं।
Please sit down.
हाँ।
What is your name?
Sabiti.
और कितने बच्चे हैं?
How many children do you have?
हाँ।
3.
Are all of them girls?
लड़की है सब की क्या?
I have 2 girls and a boy.
अच्छा। अच्छा। अच्छा तो ये जो लड़की है इसको
Can we take this girl to Bombay?
Yes.
जा सकते हैं। कितना पैसा लेंगे आप?
How much money do you want for your daughter?
पैसा लेने? हाँ।
150,000 rupees.
Are you joking? Did you say hundreds of thousands? You must mean thousands.
Yes, 1,500.
1,500? हाँ? अच्छा, ठीक है वहाँ पे।
Okay, we'll give you the money. Now, can we take her to Bombay?
Yes.
Will you be able to do whatever is asked of you? Any job?
Tell her yes.
Yes.
Do you want to go to Bombay?
Yes.
Do you know what to expect in Bombay?
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
अच्छा 300, 400, 500, 600। आप गिन लीजिए।
Here you go.
आप भी देख लीजिए। ठीक है। अच्छा आप 5 मिनट के लिए जरा बाहर जाइए, मैं इससे बात करती हूँ कि ये सब काम कर सकते हैं क्या।
I came to Bombay alone. I was looking for my auntie's home, but she had moved. The neighbors gave me her new address, so I went there, but I still could not find her. Then I met a woman who said, "Come, I'll show you where she is." She took me first by train, then a bus, and then a taxi. She said she would get me work, and after 3 or 4 months she would take me back home. But she never came back for me. I said, "Where are you taking me? Look at all these men standing here." When I got inside, I saw many beds, and there were a lot of girls sitting around and talking. The woman said all these girls work here, and soon I would be doing the same thing. Then she took me into a room and told me to sit down. The madams locked the door from the outside, and they would not let me out. They washed my face, and they sat me down and started to put makeup and lipstick on me. I said, "I don't want any lipstick. Why are you doing this?" They said, "You'll know soon enough. We will tell you later. Just put on the lipstick and your makeup." I said, "I don't want to do this. Is this some sort of game?" "No," they said. "We'll tell you later. First put on the makeup." They did all of that to me. There was a girl from Andhra, and she told me what was going to happen. I didn't want to do it, so I washed my face right away. I said, "I don't want to do this dirty business." But when I started to cry, they beat me, and for 5 or 6 days I didn't do anything. No makeup or anything. There was another girl named Asha who told me that we both have bad karma, and this is what we are fated to do. She explained everything to me. When a client comes, smile and talk softly to him. Call him and ask him who he would like to be with. That's what she said to me. My very first time, she brought the customer to me and stayed in the room with us. She told me how to do it. She explained everything. Do it like this, do it like that, all of it.
This is an ancient Hindu ceremony now banned by the Indian government. It is still practiced in a few regions of India, including here in the south. In the Devdasi ceremony, a rich patron buys a girl from her family and then offers her to the gods, hoping to gain favors and good luck. By tradition, the child would become a ceremonial dancer at the temple. Devdasi means slave of God. The ritual marriage is consummated when a special bead necklace is tied around the child's neck. Yet these days, the ceremony condemns a Devdasi to the role of temple prostitute, and she's made available for sale to the brothels of Bombay.
There are these temple leaders who take advantage of the ignorance and traditional cultural beliefs of the people. They enforce them rather than enlighten the people. you know, to say, yes, you have to give one of your daughters to the goddess. Otherwise, it's going to be a curse. And, you know, people who are very naive and simple readily believe these threats. And very often, there is a whole series of networking between these temples and the city brothels.
Kathmandu is crowded with peasants from the countryside looking for work in the only boom economy Nepal has. Here there is a demand for cheap, unskilled labor in small factories which surround the city. Carpet factories employ thousands of workers. About half are children who are sold from rural hill families to urban factory owners. To underwrite the cost of purchasing the child laborers, the owners routinely sell the prettier girls to the Bombay brothels.
The first entry point to prostitution is carpet factories, and from carpet factories they were taken to India. I've got girls here like that who have been used. So I think it is very necessary that we take all the girls, you know, who are at high risk. To protect them, we have to take them into the shelter.
Anuradha Khorela runs one of the few shelters in Nepal that try to protect young children from the child traffickers. The shelter offers assistance to girls who have somehow escaped from the brothels in India.
She's from Dolakha. She was brought here by her relatives. She was raped by 4 people, but they all ran away. They are very old people. The parents of those men came to her house, met her mother and father and said, please forget about what happened. One of the boys will marry. And then I said, how old is that man? And she says, he's like my father's age. So he was about 45. And then I said, will you do that? And she says, no. She was a domestic servant. And then someone said, you know, in Bombay, it's so easy. You'll get lots of money. Why are you here? Let's go. The people where she was working, they reported to the police. So the police asked my help, and she's here. So now if I ask her, will you go there? And she says, no, because before that she didn't meet what happens in Bombay. But she's met all the big girls here, and has said about the life there. Vishnu? Now she won't go, she says. I want to prevent them from going into prostitution. They are at risk, high risk.
For every child Anuradha protects, thousands more are at risk. Her tiny shelter is no match for the sex traffickers who prey on her little girls. The system is so sophisticated that the pimps and procurers have set up training facilities to break in the new girls for service in the brothels. Rama was taken to one such facility in India after being tricked by 2 women.
She told us that they were trained there how to dress, how to talk, how to do the makeup and all that. It's a training place for girls. She was going to be sold and she was being trained, but she had escaped. And I said, how do you feel now that, and she says, I feel that I'm alive, I'm saved. That means, you know, vache jasto lagta means alive in Nepali. And then I asked her if, supposing you were sold, what would happen? She said, I think it would be my death.
Bharatnatyam.
Oneida washing machine. It's the only one with a 4-way water movement.
For superior wash.
It has the perfect difference between heavy, normal, and gentle wash.
For different clothes.
Sturdiest motor, washes easily.
So you want us to buy an Oneida washing machine?
No.
No?
We've already got it.
Women's liberation, you see.
Television and radio are working their way into once remote villages, creating seductive images of the good life. So when a parent suddenly tells his daughter that he is sending her away with a well-dressed relative for a good job in the city, the child is eager to go.
The media does influence the village people, and what does one see on the screen? It's all glamour, it's all fascination. And so the girl says, okay, I need to dress up like any other young girl. I need to have new dresses, new clothing. How can I get it fast and quick?
Fashion is the essence of ever-changing beauty. Live out your dreams of fashion. Chic. You are exuding liveliness. Elegant. Glowing with eternal beauty.
Yes, that's the way it works. You see, one of our girls is sent from here wearing nice clothes, you know, gold and jewelry, things like that. So the poor people from the village ask her, how did you get such nice clothes? Where did you get all that gold? And our girls say, you could have all this if you would come and work in the city. And that's how we get them here.
Vimla and Lakshmi have been working in the Bombay brothels for more than 15 years. Now, in their early 30s, they have long since forgotten the promises of the good life in the city. They now are simply trying to feed their children and save a few rupees to send them to school.
After all this time here, what have I got? 2 children. And to raise them, I need 5 or 10 rupees a day. I have to feed them and buy clothes for them. I try to save what I can for the future. I have nobody. No father, no mother. Everyone I know is dead. I'll be dead soon.
The tragedy is prostitution is one of those professions where with an accumulation of experience, you know, you're actually burnt out. And many of these women finally have no slot into which they can fit themselves once they are at the end of their careers.
As Lakshmi and Vimla walk their children to school, the streets are a constant reminder of what is in store for them. When a woman is of no further use to the brothel owners, when she is used up and disease-ridden, she is thrown out into the streets. If she is lucky and has saved a little money, she may afford a makeshift lean-to with a tarpaulin for a roof. If she only has a few rupees, she can buy a small bed in the lanes. If she is destitute, there is only the street itself. But something even worse than poverty is now stalking the streets of Kamatipura. Something out of control, an AIDS epidemic. Up to 60% of the prostitutes living here are HIV positive. The alarm was first sounded 10 years ago by a volunteer agency called the Indian Health Organization. The government did nothing. Despite the IHO's free condom distribution campaign, the girls find that most of their clients refuse to use them.
Some of the people used to put them on, the others didn't. I think out of 25 used to put them on, and 15 did not.
The IHO uses local prostitutes and volunteers to convince the girls that condoms are the only way to keep from dying of AIDS. But the business is competitive. If a girl insists on using a condom, the customers can always find one who doesn't.
Our girls say to the customers, use the condoms, you'll be safe, and so will we. But the customers turn it around and say, you're the ones who are sick. You're sick, and that's why you are saying this. They are adamant. So the girls do it with or without a condom because they need the money.
It is the youngest girls who are the most vulnerable to the epidemic. The madams work them the hardest while they are still attractive. By their middle teens, many have developed full-blown AIDS.
We show a medical book with pictures to the girls, and the girls say, "Big sister, my illness is just like that." They point to what we call the HIV herpes in the album. This girl has the disease. The first time I saw her, from here to here, there was a line of sores. Her inner thighs were full of them. The same was true of her private parts. She had boils with fluid oozing out of them. I took her to the doctor a few times, but when I did this, the disease became worse. The doctors from this area who give out medication, they gave her the wrong medicine. And these girls are uneducated. They don't know how to read or write. And the doctors here are only interested in making money, not to give the girls counseling. They don't explain anything to them, what to eat and how to look after themselves. The girls in this line of work are totally ripped off.
I don't have any of the diseases. But what I need is something healthy to eat. I can hardly find enough food for any of the kids. So there's really nothing left for me.
Vimla is preparing for another night of service in the brothels. Lakshmi is now too ill to entertain customers. She has been told she has TB. She thinks she has AIDS. Lakshmi trusts that her old friend Vimla will help her, but Vimla knows that soon she too will be too tired and too old to attract customers. After 15 years in the brothels, Lakshmi is dying.
It's really a paradise here. You make your own money, you spend it any way you like, while the housewives have to obey their husbands. They have mother-in-laws who will set fire to them, and fathers-in-law who beat them. For us, we have a wonderfully luxurious life.
Me and my friend used to go up to the rooftop, and we said, let's get out of here. Let's just jump. But the madams always came up and caught us, and then we would be beaten some more.
Vinod Gupta is a former politician and a devout Hindu who is determined to smash the brothels. Operating from a small office in Old Bombay, Gupta has a volunteer organization which raids the brothels to rescue girls.
पांडु सोनापुर में जो वेश्या जो है वहाँ पे जो जमीन पे जो पड़े हुए 5 लड़कियाँ हैं इनको बचाव करके लिखा तमिल में लिखा और उनके रहने का जगह का नक्शा भी दिया हुआ।
The letter was smuggled out of the brothel by a local boy who works nearby. Disguised as a client, one of Gupta's volunteers has already gone in to talk with the girls and prepare them for the rescue mission. The raid must be kept secret. The police, who Gupta needs for protection, are notorious for their links to the sex trade business.
If the police want to, they can punish the madams. They can be jailed for 7 years, 10 years, fine them. But the police don't want this because they get half a payoffs. I think there's a fixed monthly amount of 200 to 400 rupees that the cops get paid for each girl. The police know which girl is from which brothel because the beat officers know how much money is coming in. This is business, really big business.
In an office close to the brothel district, Gupta and his volunteers meet with the deputy commander of the local police. After hearing the plans, the officer wants to leave the room and call his supervisor. Gupta tells him that the raid has already been cleared and, worrying about leaks, asks the officer to make the call in front of him.
We have to move quickly now. Our volunteers, together with the local police, must find these girls. Then we have to fill out the necessary forms, so it's all legal. We must determine if they want to go home or what they want to do. We hope to rescue 6 girls, but it's possible that more girls will want to come with us. We'll rescue them too, and send them home.
Gupta is worried. His most recent raids did not go well. In each case, the madams had been tipped off. He worries that in the confusion of the raid, he may miss the girl who wrote the letter. He has sent word telling her to wear a white dress to identify herself. The brothel is hidden behind a walled-in compound. As the raiders walk through the courtyard, they see only a group of small children. At this hour, the place should be full of prostitutes doing their morning chores. It looks like the madams have been tipped off. All the doors to the tiny bedrooms have been locked, a common method the brothel owners use to slow down the raiders. The first girls the rescuers find confirm that the madams have run off, taking many of the girls with them. This girl says the madams locked her in before they ran off, taking the keys with them. She says many of the girls have been hidden in secret rooms deep inside the brothel. A woman who claims to be the cook shouts obscenities at the raiders. This girl is so ill she can't stand. She is too embarrassed to describe her disease and is in so much pain that the madams didn't bother to hide her. As another dazed girl is found, Gupta asks her if she knows what's happened to the girls he is looking for. She is terrified by the men and can barely give them her own name. Finally, success. 3 girls are found hidden in a back room. They say they are the girls on Gupta's list, but there are 3 missing, including Sashi, the girl in the white dress. The girls say they don't know what happened to her. Further down the hall, the men have found a trap door in the ceiling. A girl has been hidden in the attic. She is wearing a white dress. This is Sashi. The girls have identified the cook as one of the madams. Terrified, they wait for Gupta to complete his raid.
We found Malika and Bebi and Sashi. The others are still missing. They must have been taken through the underground passageways. The madams have their own methods. They get their information from all over. They can escape quickly. There are many rooms here, so there must have been lots of girls. 20, 50, maybe even 100.
The rescued girls have changed into the saris they used to work in. They walk out into the street for the first time in more than 3 years.
Take us back home. All we want is to go back home. It's a mistake we are here. They have beaten us, tortured us, even killed some of us. Now we have been rescued, and all we want is to get back home. The madams took everything from us. Why doesn't someone go out and arrest them?
With the raid barely over and in plain view, the madams casually walk back to their brothel. The police are making no arrests.
Mina? Mina? Oh, beta, और कैसा है? बिल्कुल पानी कम आ गया, कम पड़ गया है.
I thought the man you sent was another client. Then he asked if I wanted to get out, and I said yes, I wanted to get out. He said we'll meet again soon, and then he left. He came back the 3rd day and talked to me some more and got my signature and went away.
And then what happened?
When you all arrived, I wasn't scared. I saw your men coming, and then I heard, "Come on, who wants to get out of here? Let's go." And then with 3 other girls, I just walked out.
Pele was also rescued by Vinod Gupta after spending 4 years in the Bombay brothels. Here at Anuradha's shelter, she is trying to create a new life for herself.
I would like to earn my own living after I complete my painting lessons. I would just like to be able to provide for myself.
But she will never shake the legacy of the brothels. Now 17, Pele has learned that she is HIV positive.
I'm encouraging her to live. Till the time she, survives, I want her to be very happy. I don't want her to, get a very sad death. She doesn't want to go home. She doesn't want to go to see her brother. She denies to see her brother because her brother was the first one to spit on her face when he knew that she had this disease. She loves this family which is here. You know, that way I'm trying to keep her happy and safe.
Pele's story of kidnapping and rape is repeated almost daily in Nepal, but now there are signs that things are changing. In the hills surrounding the Kathmandu Valley, something new is happening, something that only a few years ago would have been unthinkable. Women are going to a rally. Some of them will walk more than 8 hours over mountainous trails to attend. All of them have fought with the local village council for their right to be here. They are part of a growing women's movement which believes that the only way sex trafficking can be stopped is if women start fighting back.
We make speeches saying girls should not be sold. But why are girls trapped by prostitution? For economic reasons. We are second-class citizens right from birth. Even we are unhappy when a girl is born. Even we say we need sons to go to heaven. But we should not say this anymore. We need a revolution in every household. In every household. So far, we have been dominated by a system that sanctions our second-class status. This has to change. We should stop thinking of ourselves as second-class citizens, a group of defeated people. Women like you and me have done everything. We have been presidents and astronauts. It must start with education. We should educate our girls the same way we educate our boys. Even if you didn't have the chance to go to school, you must educate your daughters. Remember this, your daughters can achieve anything that your sons can.
We definitely need to initiate educational programs and consciousness-raising programs in areas where women are largely recruited for prostitution. You know, educating parents about what will happen to their girls once they are inducted into prostitution. You know, what really happens to them once they're taken out from the village.
In Kamatipura, it is just another working night. Girls still call to the thousands of men cruising the streets looking for cheap sex. The girls are still trapped in the brothels. They don't hear the songs of self-respect and freedom sung by their sisters in the hills of Nepal. These are the children of the prostitutes. They sleep while their mothers work. Who will help them avoid their mother's fate? What songs do they hear? If nothing is done to stop sex trafficking, this is the next generation of Kamatipura girls.
Lifespan was that of a butterfly.